Cyclocross can be dated back to the 1900s. Some believe it got its start from European road racers. During the off-season, to stay in shape, they would plan races from their location to a neighboring town. There would be no course or mandated route. They could choose to cut through fields, over fences, or traverse trails through the brush. As the sport matured, some of these early values were kept. Most cross races are still held in what would be considered the off-season. Since it is usually cold, the courses are designed to help riders stay warm. Barriers and steep inclines force riders to dismount and run, pumping blood to their extremities faster. Quick turns and interesting surfaces make sure riders are always on the gas. And short, timed courses ensure the competition is always high.
Wait, no, you guys.
Yes, first, second, third?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, we're good.
I always saw cyclocross as silly roadies pretending to be mountain bikers, doing funny things like running over imitation logs with their bikes and pushing them up steep hills. Don't they know they have wheels so you can ride them? But this season, a few fellow riders displayed their passion for the discipline and portrayed it to me as an extreme event, pushing your gear to the limits. With my recent addiction to gravel cycling, this viewpoint drew my attention. I feel the attraction to gravel cycling is the same thing. The contest is to constantly try to push your bike to the max. Using this philosophy, the Doan Farm Cyclocross Series was born. These courses closer resembled short track mountain bike courses in which riders were on single track and technical trails the majority of the time rather than in open fields. This, even though not true cyclocross style, is still loyal to its overall mantra and definitely piqued my interest. Dan, the runner of the series, said his goal would be to have a few people have courses at their houses to change the location of the race. Hearing this, I bid, and I decided to construct one in my yard. This process was more fun and rewarding and also required more work than one would imagine. Cutting new trail, raising barriers, and designing a course that would leave racers challenged and exhausted with only a half mile of tread to use. Annabelle's Course of Pain, as I titled it, was debuted on Halloween this year. The course included a quick sprint on pavement to separate the field, followed by a windy switchback-filled section through trail-ridden woods and my lusciously muddy yard. In typical cross fashion, it poured this day. However, the race still went on. I mean, of course it did. That's half of what makes cross. A little over a dozen riders completed in 2 race tiers. One race was ran in the daylight, and the other, for the brave, went out after dark.
On your mark, get set, go! Go! Come on, Bo! Come on, Bo! Woo!
And the quick stretch on pavement definitely did its job of separating the field. Right away, we had the top 3 contenders out front.
Come on, Eric! Badger, 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 badger. Yeah. Yeah.
And this is the eventual winner, Michael Booz, coming through on his second lap, with Dan Doan catching up to keep it interesting, doing the running technique through the switchbacks of solitude. And Eric, right behind, earned his middle name of Switchback, cruising through them with style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And The Rock was definitely a favorite for spectators, watching some riders jump up and over it while others chose to dismount.
Yeah.
And the course was nice for spectators. With the exception to the pavement portion, you could basically stand in this middle part and see just about every section in the yard. And just about as everybody was finishing up right around lap number 3, so just about halfway through the time limit of the course, the rain started coming down good and conditions started to deteriorate quickly.
Oh, those skids around the turn. Oh, Tony making a comeback. About 20 minutes in, so probably get to
And for this half-hour race, the riders ended up getting 7 laps of the course in, so this is them coming through on the second to last lap.
Oh, Schroffen.
Last one.
And Dan gave a good comeback attempt, but Michael Booz held his victory and took it to the line.
There he comes. Bring down the line. Good
Oh yeah. Got some tit dirt.
So after the race, we came inside to congratulate our winners, Mike Booz, Dan Doan, and Eric Hajduk for the 4:30 race, and then Chris Murphy, Chris Stein, and Kim Majer for the 6:30 race that took place afterwards in the darkness. It was a good time, had some food and drinks inside as well, and then talked about the next race in the series.
It's cooked.
Wait for it to come to you. Lots of leaves. Just one catch. It's going to change your life. Oh, no. Don't go through it. You got a nice downhill run.
So I hope you enjoyed this video. I think this is going to become an annual event on the P-Town calendar, and Dan has already started talking about how to make the series better as a whole for next year. Before we tore down the course, I added one more trail to bypass any pavement at all, and we raced the mountain bikes around the course one last time. That's it for this one. I'll have a second video on this topic detailing the course at Dan's house. Until then, like and subscribe if you would, and we'll see you out there.
Around the switchbacks of solitude.